Welcome to the Airbnb Roadmap, the podcast designed to navigate you through the entire journey of short-term rental success. Whether you're just starting out or ready to take your hosting game to the next level. My husband and I became super hosts within just months of launching our first Airbnb and have proudly kept that title ever since. With over 350 reviews and an overall 4.95 star ratings, we picked up a hack or two I'm excited to share with you. In each episode, I break down the strategies, insights, and industry secrets that set profitable short-term rentals apart. From choosing the right property, understanding local regulations, and obtaining your listing to go beyond just the basics. I'm here to share everything you need to succeed. So if you're ready to map out your path to Airbnb success and unlock the full potential of short-term rentals, join me on the Airbnb Roadmap. Your journey starts here. Hey, this is Brittany Wenninger with From Porch Realty, powered by Real Broker LLC. And today's episode is all about furnishing your short-term rental. You may think that, you know what, Britt, this is one of those things, you just put furniture in the rental, you call it good, right? Wrong. There are so many things that you have to think about when furnishing your short-term rental. Whether you want to go to Goodwill, you want to hire a designer, you want to design everything yourself. There's a lot that goes into it. But before we do so, I want to give you another life update. Honestly, we as in my husband and I, we literally go from 0 to 100 within days. So we closed on another short-term rental. Super exciting, right? But I am now in my third trimester for my pregnancy. So we will be hustling and bustling and trying to get this up and running before the baby comes. And we already have a lot on our plate. He has his full-time job. I have my real estate career job. We are also managing all of our short-term rentals right now. We don't have a property manager, and nor will we. But, there's still some stuff to do with that, right? And then on top of it, now we are renovating this short-term rental. So there's a lot, and I just kind of feel bad for my husband because he is the sweetest guy ever, and he's trying to make sure that I don't overextend myself, which I know I definitely can, because in my mind, I'm not pregnant. I'm like, hey, I got this. I'm going to go paint the whole room. I'm going to climb on ladders and do this and do this. And he's like, stop. You are pregnant. You have a child to think about. Just take a little bit of a chill pill. And I appreciate that because he's not wrong. I still have a mindset of, I got this. I'm going to go do it. And I need to back off a little bit. But that's just, who I am. So let's talk about this closing. We actually rented an Airbnb on Thursday night. And we had our dog. So we made sure that was a dog-friendly one. And we actually went to the mattress store before closing on this property. And the reason is because I told my husband, I was like, the one thing I will not be doing is sleeping on a floor. I already am having a hard time sleeping as is on a very comfortable bed. And thinking about just sleeping on the floor just sounds awful, straight up awful. So we went to the mattress store Thursday night. Our closing's on Friday. And I wheeled and dealed and got us a really good price on 4 mattresses. Luckily, he said that one of the mattresses that we got was actually in store. So we were able to take it the next day, which is great. Except we don't have a truck. And we actually just have a Chevy Equinox, which, her name's Betsy. We call her Old Betsy, and she's made it through a lot. And the mattress guy was like, hey, you can just strap this on the top. And I was like, no way. And actually it was my husband's idea, saying it as a joke. And the guy was like, yeah, you can actually do that. I was like, no way. Well, there was a way, and we did it. We kind of looked like hillbillies doing it because it was literally just strapped on with 2 straps, thin string pretty much. And we got it to the property, which is quite amazing. But in the meantime, once we wheeled and dealed at the mattress store, we went back to the Airbnb that we were staying at. And this just proves how important mattresses are, because we just came from a mattress store. We tested out all the comfortable mattresses, found the perfect one, went to the Airbnb, and I was ready to crash. Like, I was like so tired. This mattress at this Airbnb was literally the hardest mattress I've ever slept on. It was a memory foam one, which I'm already not really crazy about, but I saw our dog Maple. I saw her get on the bed, and the fact that her paws didn't even sink in, I was like, oh my Lord, like, this mattress is gonna be hard. I sat down, I'm like, oh my God, like, this is gonna be rough. When you lay on this mattress, it like forms to your body eventually, but when you try to like turn around or move and get into a different position, your form in the mattress stays there. So you're kind of like feel like that you're like rolling around on like a lumpy mattress. And it was probably one of the worst like night sleeps I've ever had. My husband said the same thing. And it kind of proved that like getting a nice mattress for your short-term rentals is so important. And I'm not saying like get, a $2,000 mattress or even a $1,500 mattress. Get something that is around, I would say, like $500 to $800 per mattress, wheel and deal. We got ours, and again, I'm totally transparent. We got ours. We had 2 kings that we needed to get. They were $750 each, and then we needed 2 more queens, and we got those to $500 each. One little tip and trick about mattress stores is that they actually have a section, and it's kind of like a clearance section, but these are the mattresses that people have taken into their home, tried it out for like a week, and then actually decided that it just did not work out for them. So what the mattress store does is they take the mattress back. They really, 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 really sanitize these mattresses, and then they try to resell them. But they actually resell them at a crazy discounted price. So always ask for, that clearance section and see like, hey, how much are these clearance like mattresses? And then also start negotiating those down too, because the mattresses that we got, actually, it was supposed to be like $4,000 more than what we actually paid for, like, which is insane. So that's my little tip and trick about mattress stores. But we picked up the mattress the next day, got it to the property successfully without it flying off the top of the car, and then we went to town with all of the renovations that we needed to do. But it's like go time now. So over the weekend, I painted 2 rooms. My husband took off all the wallpaper in the whole house, which honestly was kind of a lot. We took down the curtains, the rods. We came up with a whole game plan of like what we need to do for the following weekends, because we will be there every single weekend until this property is up and running. Yes, we can 100% hire this stuff out, but do we want to? Absolutely not, because that's just not who we are. Another little thing that kind of popped up is we had to take a ice cold shower. Taking this ice cold shower really sucked, I'm not gonna lie. Unfortunately, and I should have known this because I'm a real estate agent, but that's just something that I don't think about, is testing out the hot water. So when we got the inspection, hot water worked. It was all good. The hot water heater was 39 years old, but like they don't make stuff like they used to. So I was like, yeah, like this heater is a tank. Well, at the final walkthrough, I never tested out the hot water. Closed on the property that night. We went to go take a shower, and the water actually never heated up. And the hot water tank, heater, it crapped out on us. So we had to get a hot water heater installer, install a brand new one, which, like, granted, we did need a new tank anyways, but we weren't really like planning on getting one right away. So that kind of ate into the budget. but it's all good. Like, if that's the biggest hiccup, then I'm going to say that we are pretty lucky and we're good to go. Okay, so that was our life update, and I'm sure that you definitely want to get into the episode, which is all about the art and strategy of furnishing your short-term rental. Having really nice furniture and a really nice design will absolutely maximize your guest satisfaction and profitability. Think of it as if all of the rentals in the market, like in your area, are just like gray on gray, cookie cutter, but yours has color, yours stand out. Which one do you think that guests will actually go to? The answer is probably your rental, because people like to go to properties that don't actually feel like their own property. They want that experience of, oh my gosh, this design is amazing. I would never have it in my house though, but it does work for this house. So having big, bold, beautiful colors and also having a theme to your house is very, very important. And you will see a increase in profit when you have a great design. Now there's two things that you can do for design. You can either design your short-term rental yourself, or you can hire an interior designer. These options are both great, and I've done both of these options, and we'll get into it. But before you actually design your property, there's one very important step, and that is understanding your target audience. Is your target audience business travelers? Are they a family? Is this a couple's retreat? Is this just like solo people? Tailoring your space to meet their needs can significantly enhance their experience. For instance, business travelers might appreciate a dedicated workspace with high-speed internet, while families will probably love extra sleeping arrangements and also kid-friendly amenities. So knowing who your target audience is very crucial. The cabin that we just closed on is pretty much on a river. It's also 10 minutes away from a ski resort. So our target audience is actually two different people, unfortunately. It's the skiers in the wintertime, but it's also the kayakers and the lake life type of folks. Now, this property, we are advertising for 12 people. 12 people is usually two families, so we are actually going to target to the family audience. But one great tip that actually our designer told us about is that in the wintertime, add a lot of throw pillows and add a lot of blankets, and you can swap out the oars on the wall for skis. And then in the summertime, swap out the skis on the wall and change them to oars, take away the throw blankets, and kind of lighten the space up. That's how you advertise to both winter and summer guests. Now, another thing is the photos. So you will actually probably need additional photos to advertise for that season. So in the wintertime, you want to make sure that you have exterior photos of snow and interior photos of the skis on the walls and having a very homey, comfy feel. In the summertime, however, you want to make sure that those trees are full of greenery. Yeah, flowers bloomed. You have a photo of the lake if you're near a lake, and so on and so forth. So you nailed down your target audience. Now, let's figure out your budget. Just because you have $40,000 that you can spend on furniture does not mean that you need to spend all $40,000. Because if you are in a market that is not like a high-end market, then it doesn't make sense to get high-end furniture and just go crazy with all that stuff. Because you want to make sure that your ROI is still on point, that you are making the money back. So if you are like, let's just say in a normal market, it's not luxury, it's not high-end, but it's also not in a lower market area, your budget actually needs to allow for just normal furniture that is not crazy expensive. Remember that your furniture will get destroyed by guests. Unfortunately, I had a dining room table. It's still there and it's not ruined, but I'm obsessed with it at one of our rentals. and someone played quarters on it. There's dents on that table. Am I happy about it? No, but that was kind of my mistake. I spent way too much on this dining room table, and guests just kind of like treat it like, it's a $5 piece of furniture. Like, they don't really care. Again, just because you have $40,000 to spend does not mean that you actually need to use all $40,000. You want to make sure that the quality of the furniture is not top of the line, but it's also not going to fall apart when someone sits on it. Are you knee-deep in renovations for your Airbnb and need a boost to keep you going? Look no further. Aloha has you covered with a clean, delicious protein bar that fuels your day without weighing you down. My husband and I are huge fans. Aloha protein bars are our daily go-to, especially when we're busy with projects. Unlike those protein bars that are literally just like candy bars that leave you feeling sluggish, Aloha plant-based protein bars are made from simple organic ingredients you can trust. Each bar tastes incredible and keeps us energized and ready to tackle whatever the day throws at us, renovations included. And guess what? You can get 20% off your first purchase with the code the Airbnb Roadmap. That's 20% off feeling great and eating clean with Aloha protein bars. Head over to aloha.com and use the code the Airbnb Roadmap today. These links are also in the show notes, so make sure to click on that and get your protein bars. So when you are planning and budgeting, create a checklist for each room, detailing all the necessary furniture and amenities that you need for that room. This approach will ensure no essential items is overlooked. This is very crucial when it comes to the kitchen, the bathroom, and the bedrooms. When you are also budgeting, make sure to actually stay within the lines. Like, try not to go crazy outside of your budget. And it's going to be easy to get outside of your budget. Not going to lie. Like, you're going to see something really cute online and you're going to say, oh, we need this for the property. I can guarantee you can probably find something a little cheaper, does not look exactly what you want it to look like, but is still a really good match for that area. Now, some of the things that you can splurge on, however, are the mattress, the sofa. A lot of people will mention the sofa and say like, oh, this is super comfortable. Or they're going to be like, wow, this thing, like, it's not the best. Our very first property, we bought a couch from IKEA. I will never do that again because, one, it's not that comfortable. Like, sleeping on that, not ideal. And two, if we ever need a replacement, like, I can guarantee you IKEA does not make this couch anymore. So splurging on the comfy items like the mattress, the sofa, the chairs. If it's an accent chair, try not to spend too much money on those because, again, they're accent chairs. But other items are kitchen table chairs. For those, make sure that they are not cloth, that they're actually plastic, so the cleaner has an easier time to clean them. And then also for the decorations and accessories, try having those be more cost effective because the decorations are just going on the wall and that's their only purpose, is literally for people to like look at it. So they're not actually being used every single day, and the wear and tear on them are like pretty much nothing. So for those items, try either secondhand stores or just like cheaper options on Amazon. Now, if you are planning on getting an interior designer for your short-term rental, just know that there's two budgets, not just one. The very first budget is the designer themselves. Some of them will cost around $4,000, $5,000 just for their design services, and others, unfortunately, will be around the $10,000 to $15,000 mark. The higher you go for their services, the more that they will probably do for you. So the designer that we used, she was $4,500. Now I was like, oh damn, like this is actually quote unquote pretty cheap. Not saying it's cheap, like it was actually really expensive, but for what she's doing, like, it took so much stress off of me. She found all of the furniture. She, like, had all the links and all that good jazz. What she did not tell me, though, is that the kitchen is not included. The bathrooms are not included. Even though I told her the square footage, I told her how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms. On the Zoom call that we had with her, I told her my overall plan for the kitchen renovations. Well, she never mentioned that she doesn't decorate any of that stuff. So that is kind of what I'm paying for. I like the $4,500 is that, like, oh, that stuff's not included. What she did do was the living room space, the game room, and the bedrooms. I did have her find some artwork in the hallway because I'm like, hey, like, what about the hallway? And she kind of started, like, picking out furniture for that little nitty-gritty stuff. But I had to really, like, get her to do that. Now, the $10,000 design fee, they probably will do everything for you. They probably will design all the rooms for you, including tell you, like, how high to put the photo and where to put the photo and all that good jazz. So, yes, you can go a little cheaper on the designer, but just know that they might not design every single room. This was kind of a lesson learned for me. I had no idea that I should have asked, hey, do you decorate the kitchen? Like, I just kind of assumed, which I guess never assume. And then, of course, you have your second budget with the designer. So your first budget is their services. The second budget is actually, it's actually the furniture. So you can tell them, hey, I only want to spend $30,000 on furniture. Or you can say, hey, I only want to spend $20,000 on furniture. They will kind of bite back. And this sounds bad, but it's true. Like, if you say, hey, this house is 2,500 square feet and I only want to spend $15,000 on furniture, they're going to say, that is damn near impossible. That will only cover 3 rooms. So just kind of be aware that, like, they might say, hey, that actually makes my job way too difficult. I don't want to take on this project. Now, I always thought that when you come up with a budget to furnish your short-term rental, the calculation is $10 a square foot. Well, with inflation, I am now realizing that $10 does not get you that far when it comes to furniture. That a lot of designers require $15 a square foot. So that was another learning curve that I was like, oh gosh, like, that adds up a lot. And I will admit, like, to our designer, she found all the furniture. She sent me, you know, how much each item was. And I actually kind of was picky. And I went through and just told her what I wanted to actually, like, purchase from her list. And some of the items I realized that, like, I could get way cheaper somewhere else. So I just told her, hey, I don't want to buy these kitchen chairs for $600. And then I kind of left it at that. But I also found almost the same ones on Amazon for $300. So that's kind of saving me some upfront money as well. And it did take me about, like, 4 hours on a Sunday. I went through all the furniture that she picked out for us. And I compared, because, like, fun fact, on Google, you could upload a screenshot of, like, let's say a piece of furniture, and Google will actually tell you all the websites that have that same photo and then tell you the prices. So I was able to find a lot of the furniture at a discounted rate, and I just told her, like, hey, I don't think that I want this one. And then I actually bought it, like, not with the designer. So that's the budget and planning part for the designers, and then also just, like, normal decorations if you want to do it yourself. Now, when it actually comes to the furniture, once again, like, make sure that's durable and easy to maintain. So choose, like, stain-resistant fabrics and materials that will definitely be a lot easier to clean, and your cleaners will love you for that. Also, when it comes to designing the whole house, you want to make sure that everything's pretty cohesive. You don't want one room to be neon pink and bright floral colors, and then the other room look like it's a dungeon castle. You want to make sure that the whole house is cohesive, which will actually make the property stand out even more, because while people scroll on Airbnb and Vrbo, they are like looking at a story pretty much when they look through all your photos. And if everything's cohesive, it just makes it look so much better online. Now, I'm not saying to get the same exact furniture for all of the rooms. Like, you want to mix up the rooms. For example, we have one room that will have Sasquatch. I can't even say the word. Sasquatch. See, I can't even say it. The big fuzzy man that hides in the woods. Sasquatches. See, I can't even say the word. Anyways, we have that guy on a wallpaper in one of our bedrooms, and that's like the kids' room. We also have plaid wallpaper, and we have more of like a neutral Zen type of wallpaper in another bedroom. So all of the wallpaper is a little different and funky, but it's all kind of like goes together, all flows together. One really cool thing that I am so excited to show people is that Clay's cousin Paige, she is an amazing painter. Her canvases are gorgeous. Like, she draws people very well. She draws nature, like paints nature very well. Like, she's just such a great painter. She's never done a mural before. And I asked her, I was like, hey, what are the odds that you do a really cool mural in our short-term rental? And she's like, oh my God, yes, like, I'm super excited for this. Well, we came up with a design that, again, like, we're trying to get winter and summer people. So we came up with a design to have the ski hill in the background and then have the river in front of it with some kayakers and then pine trees everywhere. So it kind of gets not only the ski resort, but the river that the cabin's on, and then kayakers, which, there's going to be some kayakers that stay at our cabin. So this is going to be really awesome. It's going to be in our game room, and the colors will still go with the rest of the house. So that's another thing, is make sure to have a color scheme in your home. Again, talking about like the cohesive nature of the whole home, you want to make sure to actually have a nice color scheme. If you are designing your short-term rental yourself, check out a lot of Instagram pages, because there's so many designers that share what they did for their own clients. And honestly, you can just repeat that and do the same in your property. And to be honest, the next property that we get, I might just do that. Now, paying $4,500 to have someone like pick out the furniture, I think was honestly worth it, because her, like, how she came up with the design, I would never have thought of that. But I think I'm just like a little salty still that she didn't do like the kitchen and bathrooms and stuff like that. So I think the next one I'm just going to go back and just do it myself, to be honest. So we'll see. I'm sure you guys will get a life update about that later this year, because later this year we're going to be getting another one. So we shall see what we do for designing for that one. Now, moseying on from literally just like the furniture, the aesthetics, the overall design, let's actually talk about the nitty-gritty section of this. That is the essential items that guests expect, such as kitchen utensils, cookware, clean linens, toiletry items. Consider adding extras like a coffee maker, blender, or like a steaming service, such as like a steamer, ironing board, and so on and so forth. The small touches will make or break your property. So, for example, in your kitchen, if you're going to say, hey, I'm going to have 8 people in this cabin, I really hope that you will have at least 8 plates, 8 bowls, 8 salad plates. Honestly, I would even have like 10 or 12, because that means that if all 8 people are at the property and someone uses a plate and you have one plate that's dirty, now that person has to clean their plate just to have dinner with everyone else. Doesn't seem like a big deal, but like when you're vacationing, that would be kind of a pain in the butt. So make sure to have 8 of everything. When it comes to linens, I know I talked about this before in other episodes. Make sure to have 2 or 3 sets per bed for your cleaner. And then also have so many towels. People go through towels like crazy. I know, like for me, I use the same like bath towel probably 2 times, and my husband will use 1 bath towel per shower. So make sure to have enough towels. And I always do white for everything because then that's a lot easier to clean with like bleach and whatnot. But little tip and trick is that we also have makeup towels. And these makeup towels are black because girls like to wash their face, they have mascara, and it will ruin your white towels. So make sure you get the makeup towels. It will save you so much money in the long run. For the coffee maker, what we use is we have a Keurig, but you don't want to cheap out on those because if people don't get their coffee because the Keurig is broken, they will be mad at you. So make sure to just like get a normal Keurig that's not like the cheaper brand or the cheaper model, I should say. And then also have a coffee maker there as well. Because if you have, again, for example, 8 people, you don't want everyone to use a K-cup. Like that's going to get costly. I'm sure that they're just going to use the coffee maker for 1 big pot of coffee for everyone. Also talking about some appliances, a slow cooker is really nice. Not needed, but nice. And then make sure to have some nice pots and pans. I get all of this stuff, like even the utensils. I get everything from a St. Vinny's or Goodwill. There's a lot of people that just give up their pots and pans, and they're in really good shape. Now, I make sure that they are the non-stick pots and pans now. I didn't used to care before, but we realized that like those pots and pans do not last and they get disgusting really fast because people don't actually like properly clean them. So now we really try to get the non-stick pans. And then finally for the bathroom, we make sure that we have the shampoo, conditioner, and body wash in the shower. We have like a little like dispenser on the wall. Those are really nice just because a lot of people forget that. And then we also advertise that in our listing. So most of the time, I doubt that people even bring their own, shampoo, conditioner, body wash, and all that jazz. So overall, for the essential part, I go to Goodwill for all this stuff because that will save our budget a lot. I'd rather spend more money on the items like mattresses, sofas, chairs, kitchen tables, and all that stuff, and save money on the items that people don't see in the listing. Now, again, I'm not like getting like crappy stuff. Like the stuff I get is still really good, but it also saves us a lot of money, especially with board games. Board games are so expensive, but if you go to Goodwill, you can find unopened board games and then put it into your property and advertise that you have a lot of board games, books, cards, and the whole shebang. So kind of keep that in mind. Buy online, buy in a store, but the small items just go to Goodwill and kind of make it fun. Bring your significant other and go shop till you drop. Now, we can get into furnishing a lot more in this episode, but at least you have the overall knowledge of how to actually do it and hiring an interior designer and what that actually looks like. And also some questions that you should probably ask them before you book them, because learn from me that not all of them do kitchens and bathrooms. Again, I'm still a little salty. But anyways, hope that you found this episode really useful. If you have any questions or if you want to share what your listing looks like, I would love to see them because I love seeing like everyone's thoughts and designs, because truthfully, like I'm not good at designing, so I love seeing that for other people. Thanks for joining me on the Airbnb Roadmap. If you're loving these episodes and want to keep the conversation going, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share this podcast with someone who's ready to dive into the world of short-term rentals. Got a question or topic you would love to hear about? Reach out. This podcast is all about learning and growing together. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram, the Airbnb Roadmap Podcast, for more tips, tricks, and behind-the-scene insights. Until next time, here's to turning your short-term rental dreams into thriving realities. I'll see you back here soon.